Hey everyone. Before we dive into today's story, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and drop a comment letting me know where you're watching from and what time it is there. It really helps YouTube recommend more stories like this one to you. Alright, let's jump right in.
The first time I saw her smile, I had this weird feeling in my stomach. Not butterflies, more like static. Like my brain was trying to warn me, but it didn't know how. Her name was Sierra. Or at least, that's what her profile said. We matched on Bumble 2 weeks ago. Nothing about her stood out at first. Normal photos, mid-20s, lived in my city. Her bio just said, "Let's make stories we'll regret." Kinda cringy, but I'd seen worse. But that smile, God, I couldn't get it out of my head. There was something off about it. Her eyes were wide, too wide. Her teeth just looked too perfect, like they didn't belong to her. But I swiped right anyway. Because I was bored. Because I was lonely. Because, even though her smile creeped me out, I couldn't stop staring at it. She messaged me first. "You look familiar." I remember staring at that for a while. We hadn't met before. I was sure of it. "I don't think we've met." I wrote back. "Not yet," she said. I chalked it up to flirting, but the unease didn't go away. She replied fast. Always just one step ahead. We moved to texting the next night. Then voice memos. Then a FaceTime, but she never answered the FaceTime. Only declined it. Said her camera was busted. Said she hated video calls anyway. Still, the conversations kept flowing. She always knew just what to say. Asked about my job, my exes, my apartment. I figured she was just interested. She kept bringing up how cozy my place looked from the photos I'd posted on Instagram. That should have been a red flag. I never gave her my Instagram handle. The first time I really felt scared, I was getting out of the shower. My phone buzzed. It was a photo from her. At first glance, it was just my bedroom. My desk, the bed, the same ugly throw blanket I've had since college. But the angle, it was from inside my closet. I froze. I checked the timestamp. Taken 10 minutes ago. I hadn't left my apartment. No one had come in. I lived alone. Top floor unit. No roommates. Deadbolt always locked. My heart dropped. I yanked open the closet door so hard it slammed against the wall. Nothing. Just my clothes. Dirty laundry. I texted her immediately. "Where did you get that photo?" No reply. "Hello? Sierra?" Nothing. Then finally, after what felt like hours, "Sorry, wrong pic. That wasn't meant for you." No explanation. No apology. Just that. I didn't sleep that night. I left the lights on in every room, sat on the couch with a baseball bat across my lap like some low-budget horror movie extra. Every creak in the walls made my skin crawl. Every passing car outside made me jump. The next morning, her profile was gone, unmatched, deleted, like she'd never existed. I tried to move on. I deleted the app, blocked her number, but I couldn't stop thinking about that photo. I even asked my neighbor, older woman, friendly, always home if a little nosy, if she'd seen anyone near my door recently. She said no. In fact, she swore she hadn't heard anything from my unit all week, but I'd been home. Walking, showering, playing music. Hell, I cooked bacon Thursday morning and set off the fire alarm. She had to have heard that. "I thought you were out of town." She said I wasn't. I never left. 3 nights later, I woke up at 3:14 a.m. My phone buzzed again. No message. Just a notification. Airdrop request. Sierra would like to share a photo. I dropped the phone. It clattered to the floor and lit up the ceiling with its screen glow. I was alone. I knew I was alone. I don't use AirDrop. I don't even leave Bluetooth on, but I picked up the phone. My hands were shaking. I accepted the request before I could stop myself. The photo was grainy, dark, but I recognized the layout immediately. It was my bathroom mirror, foggy, and in the reflection me, brushing my teeth. But I hadn't taken it. And right behind me, standing in the hallway, was a figure. Just the outline. No features. But unmistakably, the shape of her jaw. The curve of that too wide smile. I left the apartment that night, grabbed my keys, my wallet, and didn't even put on shoes. I drove to my brother's place across town and crashed on his couch without explaining anything. He thought I was just having a breakdown, maybe going through a breakup or something. I didn't argue, but the fear didn't leave. 2 days later, when I finally got the courage to go back home, everything looked normal. Nothing missing. Nothing broken. But it didn't feel right. There was this stillness, like the whole apartment was holding its breath. Then I saw it on the kitchen counter, sitting right next to my coffee maker. A Polaroid. It was of me, asleep, from above, like it had been taken from the ceiling. On the back, in red ink, "Love that sleepy smile." I wanted to burn that Polaroid. I should have. But I didn't. I just stared at it, frozen in my kitchen, while my fridge hummed like nothing was wrong, and the morning light spilled in like it hadn't just shattered every sense of safety. I had left. I wasn't alone. I hadn't been alone for a while. I started checking every inch of the apartment, under the bed, inside cabinets, behind the shower curtain. Nothing. No cameras. No hidden doors. No signs of forced entry. But somehow someone had been here. Someone had watched me sleep, and she knew exactly how. I looked doing it. I went to the police the next day. They barely looked up from their screens. Said if there was no sign of a break-in and nothing was stolen, there wasn't much they could do. I showed them the Polaroid. They said it was weird, but not a crime. The officer asked if I'd been drinking. I told him about Sierra, the Bumble match, the photos. The air dropped. He pulled out his phone and started scrolling mid-sentence. Then he told me people catfish all the time. Saw it. I was probably pranked. I wanted to scream. But instead, I went home and installed a camera in every room. Paid extra for motion alerts. Slept with a knife under my pillow. Still didn't feel safe. A week passed. Quiet. Too quiet. The kind of quiet where your thoughts get loud. Where every creak of the wood floor makes your heart punch your ribs. I almost convinced myself I'd imagined it all. Maybe I was spiraling. Stress, isolation, paranoia, sure. Maybe that's all it was. But then I got a text. No number. No name. Just a message. "You changed your locks." That's cute. I couldn't breathe. My fingers went numb. I stared at my front door like it might just melt open. That night, I slept at a hotel. Slept might be the wrong word. I lay in bed with the TV on, staring at the peephole like it was the only thing keeping me alive. The next morning, I decided to do something I should have done a long time ago. I reverse image searched one of Sierra's profile pics. It didn't take long. Her face belonged to a beauty influencer in Oregon. Huge Instagram following. Had never even been to my city. It wasn't Sierra. It was bait. But that raised the question, if the face was fake, who the hell had I been talking to? I opened my old Bumble messages. Nothing. All gone. Like she'd never existed. But my phone buzzed again. Airdropped out another photo. This time, I was in it. Sitting at that exact table. Right now. Wearing the same hoodie. Taken from outside the cafe window. I didn't even turn around. I grabbed my stuff and ran. I stayed with friends. Slept in their guest room with the door locked and a chair pushed against the knob like a sad movie trope. I was falling apart. Couldn't work. Couldn't think. The feeling of being watched followed me everywhere. Mirrors, windows, even my own reflection started to feel off. I deleted every dating app. Deleted socials. Even switched phones, and for a while, Things got quiet again, too quiet, until last Friday. I came back home just to grab some documents. I hadn't been there in weeks. The second I stepped inside, I felt it again. Like the walls were listening. My plants were dead. Mail piled up. My fridge smelled like something had died in it. I walked past the bathroom and stopped. The mirror was fogged. Like someone had just taken a hot shower. But I hadn't been here. And the lights were off. My phone buzzed. Motion alert. Living room camera. Movement detected. I opened the app with trembling hands. The screen went black. Then static. Then a photo popped up instead of the video feed. A still image of me, standing right where I was now, but from behind. I spun around. No one there. Dropped the phone. Bolted. I filed another report. The cops said they'd check it out. They never called me back. I started questioning everything. My memory, my sanity. Maybe it was a breakdown. Maybe I was imagining things. Maybe Sierra was just a hallucination that got out of hand. Until this morning. Was back at my brother's. He'd gone out for groceries. I was scrolling my email on his laptop, looking for anything tied to her. Just trying to find proof that she was real. And then I saw the folder titled Smiles. It wasn't mine. It wasn't his. But it was on the desktop. I clicked it open. There were dozens of photos. Maybe more. Every single one was of me. Eating, sleeping, laughing. Smiling. But none of them were selfies. None of them were ones I remembered. These were taken of me, from across the street, from the window, from inside my car. The last one was a video. I hit play. It was a recording of me sitting on the couch. From behind. The camera slowly zooms in on my head. At the very end, I turn slightly, just enough that you can see my reflection in the TV screen. And standing behind me, smiling, is her. I shut the laptop so hard the screen cracked, ran to the bathroom. Threw up. Then I saw the mirror. Words were written across the glass. In fog, even though the bathroom hadn't steamed. Told you I loved your smile. The second I saw her on the slab, I knew I'd never sleep right again. I worked the night shift at a hospital morgue. Quiet job. Mostly just checking toe tags, logging names, keeping the cold room sealed. There's rarely drama. The bodies don't complain. I'm a second-year pathology student, just trying to grind through med school without adding more student debt. So yeah, I deal with the dead. I thought I could handle anything. Until I saw her. Camille, the girl I'd been texting with for weeks. It started on Hinge. Like most things do these days. She popped up late one night during one of those swiping spirals. Nothing about her profile seemed fake, just normal. Pretty. Smart eyes. Bio said she worked in graphic design. Liked road trips and true crime. She messaged me first. Why does your face say you've seen things you'll never unsee? I laughed. Told her I worked night shifts in a hospital basement. She replied with a ghost emoji and spooky. I'm into it. Her energy was different. Playful, but not try hard. She asked questions that weren't just surface level. She actually wanted to know me. We moved from Hinge to texting within days. Shared playlists. Swapped late night thoughts. Even called once or twice. Her voice was soft, low, and oddly soothing. But every time I tried to set up a date, she bailed. First, it was food poisoning. Then a work deadline. Then, I'm not sure I'm ready to meet. But I want to. I didn't push. Honestly, I kind of liked the anticipation. The way we built something without even touching. Something felt real about it. Realer than other hookups I'd had. And then she ghosted. No warning. 3 days, no reply. Messages left on read. Her profile was still up until it wasn't. Then gone. Deleted. Just like that. Fast forward to last Thursday night. It was 2:13 a.m. And I was doing my usual rounds in the cold storage wing. Most people don't realize how quiet a morgue really is. It's not like the movies. No echoing metal sounds. No fluorescent buzz. It's dead silent. And cold. Like being inside a freezer no one remembers to restock. We had a new intake female. Mid-20s, John Doe status for now. Found downtown, no ID. 'Cause of death pending autopsy. I was the one to receive her. The body came in a zipped black bag. Nothing new. I opened it to check the toe tag and get a quick photo for documentation. And I stopped breathing. It was Camille. Her face was pale, lips bluish, but unmistakable. Same shape of her nose. That faint scar above her right eyebrow she once joked about. I got it climbing into a cemetery when I was drunk in high school. It was her. I staggered back. My heart thudded so hard I could hear it over the silence. I leaned against the metal counter, suddenly freezing despite the insulated jacket I always wore. I checked again. No mistake, but here's the thing. Camille had sent me a text 2 days ago. I opened my phone. Her number was still there. The last message read, "I think someone's following me. Can I call you later?" Time stamped after the medical examiner listed her time of death. I tried to make sense of it. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe it wasn't her. Maybe it was someone who looked like her. A cousin, a twin. So I did what no one should do. I broke protocol. I went back into the system, accessed her case file, and opened the preliminary scan from the A. Then I did something worse. I uploaded a photo of her from our chat into a facial recognition tool I shouldn't have access to. One of the perks of being in the pathology program. They let you near things they really shouldn't. Results came back with a 98.7% match. It was her on my table and texting me after the fact. I didn't know what to do. If I reported the connection, I'd get flagged. Maybe even fired. So I kept my mouth shut. Told myself someone had spoofed her number. Maybe she was killed and someone was using her phone. But the next night, she texted me again. "It's cold." That was it. Just that. I didn't reply. I couldn't, but I didn't sleep either. Saturday night, I was back in the morgue. I kept checking the camera feed, every room, every hallway. Nothing, but just past 3 a.m., one of the motion sensors pinged, not near the entrance. Not near the fridge. It came from inside the cold room itself. I checked the monitors, flickering, just static. I grabbed the flashlight and went in. The room was darker than usual. Freezing. I swear it felt colder than it was supposed to. And one of the drawers, the one I'd logged Camille into, was open. Only a few inches, but enough to see the black body bag inside. I walked over slowly. My breath fogged the air. Every instinct told me to leave. Just slam it shut and pretend I hadn't seen it. But I had to know. I pulled it open. The bag was empty. The empty bag shouldn't have scared me as much as it did. Bodies get misplaced sometimes, rarely, but it happens. Tags fall off. Mix-ups occur. That's what I told myself, but the toe tag was still there. Inside the drawer. On the metal tray. Like someone had unclipped it carefully and left it behind. The cold felt heavier. Like the air thickened around me. My hands were shaking so hard I almost dropped the flashlight. "Camille?" I whispered before I could stop myself. My voice sounded tiny, swallowed by the metal walls. The silence afterward felt wrong. Not empty. Listening. I backed out of the cold room slowly and slammed the door shut. It echoed through the whole basement like a gunshot. My heart wouldn't calm down. Checked the hallway cameras again. Nothing. No one entering. No one leaving. So where the hell did she go? I filed a report saying the tag must have been mislabeled. That the body was moved without logging. That we should double check the storage. I didn't mention her name. Or the texts. Or the fact that a dead woman had simply gotten up and walked out of her drawer. I told myself it had a logical explanation. I lied to myself. Constantly back then. The next message came at 4:27 a.m. Right as I was clocking out. I'm scared. I nearly threw my phone across the parking lot. It didn't make sense. Nothing made sense. I blocked her number immediately, removed the contact, deleted the thread. Did everything short of smashing my phone with a wrench. It didn't matter, because 20 minutes later, a text came in from a new number. Please don't leave me alone again. I drove home in complete silence, gripping the wheel so tight my hands cramped. I didn't respond, but I also didn't delete that one. The next night, I begged my supervisor to put me on a different rotation. Anything but the morgue. I said I had a cold. Said I had food poisoning. Said my grandmother died, then remembered I used that excuse last semester. He said we were short-staffed. So I went in. And of course, Camille's drawer was still open when I walked past it. Still empty. The toe tag still sitting on the metal like a calling card. Worse, the condensation on the inside of the door had smeared handprints on it. Human-sized. Trailing downwards. As if someone had pressed their palms there and slid slowly toward the floor. I almost vomited. I had to brace myself on the counter. I shut the drawer hard. I tried to act normal, do my rounds, pretend I wasn't falling apart. But my skin crawled with every step. Something was wrong with the morgue, like the temperature kept slipping lower and lower in certain corners. Pockets of freezing air that moved. By 2 a.m. I was sweating and shivering at the same time. Then my phone buzzed. A picture message. I didn't want to open it, but I did. It was a photo of me. Standing in the morgue, taken from behind the glass window that separated the hallway from the cold storage, except I was inside cold storage. No one else had been there. No one. Another message came through. I'm right here. The lights above me flickered. The temperature dropped hard enough that my breath came out in white clouds. Camille, I whispered. What do you want from me? No response, but the lights went out for half a second, and in that blink of darkness, I heard something. Fabric shifting. Like feet moving slowly across the tile. When the lights flicked back on, nothing was there, but the camera in the corner was swinging slightly, as if someone had brushed against it. I ran. I tried not to come back. I skipped my next shift, turned my phone off, slept at my brother's place, made excuses to my program advisor, told friends I was sick. By day 5, I couldn't ignore the calls from the hospital anymore. When I returned, my supervisor pulled me aside. We need to talk, he said. My stomach dropped. Had someone reviewed the cameras? Had they seen me freaking out? Talking to myself? Running out like a maniac? But no. It was about Camille. Except he didn't say her name. He used the case number 49BL773. The body was found, he said. Found. In the maintenance wing, he continued. Unregistered. No idea how it got there. Maintenance crew found it this morning. My heart thudded in my ears. I told him I'd handled the intake normally, that I'd stored the body exactly where it belonged. He gave me a tired look. Son, that drawer was empty. I wished he hadn't said it like that. Like he expected an answer, like he wanted me to admit something. I just nodded. The conversation ended there. But something in his expression told me he didn't believe a word I said. The body was back. Tagged again. Moved again. Like someone had reset the timeline. I went to see her. I shouldn't have. But I had to know. The sheet was pulled over her face. I lifted it with the edge of a glove. Her skin looked different. Less pale. Not pink. Not alive. Not anything like that. But the bluish tint I'd seen before was softer, faded. And her lips? They looked almost normal, like someone had touched them. Warmed them. My hands were shaking too hard to take a proper look. I backed away. The air felt thin. My head felt full of pressure. That's when my phone, which I'd left in the locker room, pinged. I didn't look at the message, not until I got upstairs. The new text read, "Thank you for checking on me." My throat closed. Another came immediately after. "I feel closest to you when you're here." I turned the phone off. It turned itself back on. That night, I woke to the sound of tapping on my window. Not frantic, not aggressive. Slow, rhythmic, patient. I sat up too fast and felt dizzy. My apartment was pitch dark, except for the street lamp glow leaking through the blinds. The tapping continued. 3 taps. A pause. 3 taps. A pause. My chest locked tight. I couldn't breathe. I slipped out of bed and approached the window from the side so I wouldn't be in view. My heart hammered so loud I thought whoever was outside could hear it. I gently pulled the blinds down a fraction of an inch. My breath caught so sharp it hurt. A face stared back at me through the glass. Pale, still, eyes open. UNBLINKING. Camille. But wrong. Her head tilted too far to one side, like the neck couldn't support its own weight. Her hair was wet or matted, I couldn't tell which, and her mouth. Her lips were curved upward, not a smile, something stretched. Too wide, too slow. Like the muscles didn't remember how to form the shape. I stumbled backward, hitting the dresser hard enough to knock over my lamp. When I looked again, she was gone. No footsteps. No running. Just gone. But the glass was fogged with condensation, and on it, written with a fingertip, "I found you." I didn't go back to the morgue after that. I pretended I was sick. Then I said I was quitting the program. Then I stopped answering calls entirely. None of it mattered, because she found me, wherever I went. The next appearance was at a grocery store. I looked up from the self-checkout and saw her at the far end of the aisle, standing perfectly still behind a freezer door. Foggy glass. Blue lighting. Dead eyes. I blinked. She was gone. Another time. I saw her sitting on the bus across from me, her head leaning against the window, watching me with that awful tilted gaze. At night, she'd whisper my name from somewhere in my apartment. Sometimes from the bathroom. Sometimes from under the bed. Sometimes from places I've never dared to check. I stopped sleeping. I stopped eating. I stopped feeling human. The text kept coming. "Don't leave me. You said you liked my voice. I still have so much to tell. You, come back to me. Why are you scared? You started this. Let me in." I changed phones twice. Switched numbers. Deleted accounts. It didn't matter. She always found the new one. I don't know what she is. A ghost? A hallucination? Some echo that crawled out of cold storage? Some fragment of a woman who died scared and lonely and attached herself to the only person who paid attention? I don't know. I don't think it matters anymore. Because tonight she's in here with me. I can hear her dragging something across the floor in the next room. Slow, heavy, like her limbs aren't bending right. She's humming. A soft, broken little melody she used to send me on voice memos. She's getting closer. I can feel the cold seeping under the door. Hear her breath wet and uneven on the other side. She knocks. 3 taps. A pause. 3 taps. A pause, like she did on my window. "Let me in." She whispers. Not angry, not threatening, just lonely. I press my back to the wall, shaking so hard I can barely keep hold of my phone. She knocks again, harder. This time, I know she won't stop. I know she'll find a way in eventually. Dead things are patient, and I think she's attached to me, bound to me somehow. That drawer, those nights, the messages, the missing body. Maybe when someone dies afraid, they hold on to whoever they reached out to last. Maybe that was me. Maybe she chose me. Or maybe I chose her the moment I swiped. Right. The door handle jiggles. Slowly. Her voice is right next to it now. Don't make me be alone again. The lights flicker. My breath fogs the air. The temperature drops so fast my fingers go numb. Around the phone. The door creaks open. Justin. Inch. Then another. And I hear her smile. I don't mean I hear her laugh. I mean I hear her smile, jaw stretching, tendons pulling, skin cracking softly as it widens. It sounds like something waking up, something remembering me. The hallway light dies. I can't see her, but I can hear her crawling toward me. Now. Slow, wet, close. She whispers something I will never forget. You're the only one who answered. The first time I noticed something was off about her, we were 3 dates in. Same outfit, same place, same conversation. I thought I was losing my mind. Her name was Maya. We matched on Hinge, which these days just feels like a slower version of Tinder. Nothing special about her profile, honestly. It was kind of UNDERWHELMING. Her bio said, food greater than people. She had a photo at a ramen place, another blurry one at the beach, and one mirror selfie where she wore a red floral dress. I swiped right because, well, she was pretty, and her eyes looked like she'd been through something. She messaged me first. Be honest, how bad is my taste in music going to ruin this? I liked her immediately. Our first date was at this little restaurant I liked, Galliards. Dim lights, wood booths, and killer cocktails. She wore that same red dress from her profile. Conversation was easy. She wasn't bubbly, but sharp, observant, asked good questions. She remembered stuff I'd said in the chat, mentioned my dog by name, even asked about a childhood story I told once as a joke. She laughed at all the right moments, smiled just enough. Her hand brushed mine when we reached for the check, and my skin lit up like static. She kissed me in the parking lot, soft, quick, like punctuation at the end of a perfect sentence. The next day, she messaged, same time next week? I said yes immediately. But the second date, that's when things started to slip. We went to the same restaurant. That was her idea. She said she liked the vibe. Okay, cool. No problem. But she wore the same red floral dress again. That seemed odd, but I figured maybe she just liked it. Then at the table, she asked the same question she had last time. If you could delete 1 year of your life, which one would it be? Word for word, I froze. Not for long, but enough for her to notice. You asked me that last time, I said with a small laugh, trying not to sound weird. She blinked, confused. Did I? I nodded. Yeah, same booth even. She tilted her head like she was thinking. Weird, I must really like that question. She smiled. But this time, it didn't reach her eyes. I brushed it off. Maybe it was just déjà vu. We talked about new things, mostly. She told me about her job, freelance UI designer. Liked to work at night. Said people made more sense when they were half asleep. She didn't kiss me this time. Just touched my face lightly before leaving. The third date? That's when I got scared. Same place. Same dress. Same table. Again. This time, I was sure she was messing with me. I joked. You trying to make this a tradition or something? She just smiled, but then she asked, in the exact same tone as before, if you could delete 1 year of your life, which one would it be? I felt like the walls of the booth were closing in. I stared at her, trying to see if she was messing with me. A prank? A bit? Okay, what's going on? I asked, laughing but not really. She tilted her head again. Just like before. What do you mean? You've worn the same thing. Same restaurant. Same everything. That question even. She frowned. You're remembering wrong. This is our first date. I blinked. No, Maya, this is our third date. She shook her head slowly. No, we just matched Tuesday. She pulled out her phone, opened Hinge, showed me our chat. Only 2 messages out. My stomach flipped. This doesn't make any sense. She smiled again, calm, patient. Sometimes things repeat until we learn what we're supposed to. What does that mean? She just looked at me, eyes glassy. You'll figure it out. And then she got up, left cash on the table, walked out like the date was over. I sat there alone, feeling like I was unraveling. Was I losing my mind? I checked my texts. The previous messages were gone. No history. Hinge? Gone. Her profile said this user is no longer available. I told myself I wasn't crazy. I remembered the first kiss, the second date, the conversations. Her hand on mine, I remembered them, but they were gone. I didn't see her again for 3 weeks. And then she messaged me out of nowhere. New profile. Different name. Maya this time, with an I. Same photos. Same dress. I messaged her. Very funny. She replied. Have we met? I asked her to dinner. Same place, just to see. And when she walked in, same dress, same smile, same first question. If you could delete 1 year of your life, which one would it be? I thought about filming the date, recording everything, proving I wasn't losing it. So I did. The 5th date, I wore a mic, had a camera clipped to my jacket. I told her it was for a class project. She didn't even blink. I recorded the entire conversation. She said all the same things, asked the same questions, drank the same wine. When I watched the video later that night, she wasn't in it. Not once. It was just me sitting alone, talking to no one. After I watched the video, after I realized she didn't show up on camera, I sat in silence for a long time. Just me, in that booth, talking to no one. The waiter poured me wine that I didn't touch. He took my order, laughed at a joke I didn't remember making, and never once looked at the other side of the table. Like she wasn't there. Because maybe she wasn't, or maybe she was, but not in a way cameras could see. I stopped going out after that, deleted the apps, threw out the jacket I wore during the recording, tried to get some normalcy back, but things started to bleed through. My phone would buzz at 2 a.m. with a notification from Hinge, a match. Every time it was her. Same photos, same smile. Sometimes the name changed, Maya, but the profile was always identical. Always that same line, food greater than people. I stopped responding. I blocked every account. But she always came back. A new profile, a new number, sometimes even a new app I didn't remember downloading. And the worst part? I started forgetting the original version of her, like my memories were smudging at the edges. I couldn't recall what she sounded like. I couldn't remember how she moved, or if she ever blinked. I only remembered that question. If you could delete 1 year of your life, which one would it be? Over and over. A loop in my head, like a song I hated, but couldn't stop humming. And the more I heard it, the more I felt like I was forgetting entire years. I finally broke and made an appointment with a therapist. She listened, took notes, asked if I'd been dreaming more than usual. I said yes. She nodded like she expected that. What kind of dreams? She asked. Conversations, I said. Dinner dates, always the same, but something's always wrong. She asked what was wrong. Everyone speaks normally, but the background doesn't move. She raised an eyebrow. The people behind us, the waiters, the music. It's all frozen, like the world pauses when she talks. I expected her to laugh, or reassure me I wasn't crazy. But instead, she leaned forward slightly and said, "How long has the loop been going?" I didn't answer right away, because deep down, I didn't know. I thought it had been a few weeks, but when I looked at my calendar that night, I realized something that made my throat close up. Every Friday night was marked with dinner with them. 12 of them, 12 weeks. 12 identical dates. I didn't remember most of them. Tried something drastic. I booked a table at a completely different restaurant. I showed up an hour early, didn't tell anyone. Didn't use my phone. No way she could track me. I was halfway through my drink when she walked in. Same red floral dress, same smile. Sat down like we'd arranged it all. If you could delete 1 year of your life, which one would it be? I didn't answer, I just stared at her, frozen. You're not real, I said. Her smile twitched. Slightly. You always say that. Right around this part. What are you? I whispered. I'm what you won't stop remembering, she said. Then slowly, she reached across the table and touched my hand. Her skin felt cold, but not dead. Just too smooth, no texture. No imperfections, like she hadn't aged. Like she wasn't meant to. I pulled my hand away. I left. I didn't look back. That night, I tore apart my apartment. Went through old journals, phones, laptops. Looking for proof. A receipt. A photo. Something to prove that at least one version of our dates was real. And I found one. A photo of us together, her next to me at Galliard's. Both smiling. Her arm wrapped through mine. But something was wrong. She was copied. Not duplicated. Not mirrored. But the same exact woman, repeated in the background. Behind us, in the blurred-out seating area. 2 more Mayas. One eating alone. One staring directly into the camera. Same face. Same dress. 3 of her. In the same moment. I threw up. I took the photo to a print shop the next day. Had them scan it, enhance it, isolate her face. The guy behind the counter paused when he zoomed in. You sure this isn't AI? No, I said. It's a real photo. He frowned. Then why are her eyes wrong? He zoomed closer. There were no reflections. No light bounce. No glint. Just void. Like 2 holes pretending to be eyes. I went back to the restaurant. Asked for the reservation log. Begged the host to check their system. Every Friday for the past 3 months, there was a dinner reservation under my name. Always for 2. But there was only 1 order every time. 1 drink. 1 entree. 1 check. I confronted the manager. Told him I always came with someone. A woman. Long dark hair. Red dress. He gave me a strange look. We have cameras, he said. You're always alone. I demanded to see the footage. He wouldn't let me. Said I was scaring his staff. I went home, turned off all the lights, sat in the dark. And I finally remembered something. Not a full memory, just a moment. From months ago. Before all of this. A blind date. Set up by a friend. A woman in a red floral dress. Maya. But she didn't smile. She cried. The whole time. Told me she was being watched. That she wasn't allowed to leave. That someone had rewritten her, she said. He wants me to stay perfect. I left that date early. Ghosted her. Never followed up. Never thought about her again. Until I saw her on Hinge. I think whatever she is now. Wasn't always like that. I think I abandoned her when she needed someone real. And now I'm paying for it. It's been 4 months since that first date. She still messages me. Different names. Different profiles. But always the same photos. Sometimes I see her in real life. Across the street. Standing by a lamppost. Outside the restaurant window. Never moving. Never blinking. Waiting. I tried to delete everything. I even moved. Didn't help. Last week, I woke up to find a reservation confirmation slipped under my door. Galliard's, Friday. 7:30 p.m. table for 2. It was signed. In case you're ready to stop running. I went. I don't know why. Closure, maybe. Or maybe I knew she'd find me either way. She was already at the table when I arrived. Same dress. Same expression. But this time she didn't smile. She leaned forward, folded her hands, and said, You're starting to forget who you are. I tried to leave. She grabbed my wrist. Her grip was cold and impossibly strong. You've been repeating more than you know, she whispered. Not just the date, Everything. What are you talking about? This year isn't your first, she said. It's your third. Maybe fourth. He wipes them, every time. Leaves just enough behind so you come back. Who's he? I asked. Her eyes shimmered, like static behind glass. She didn't answer, just slowly reached into her purse and slid a photo across the table. It was me. Sitting in this same booth. Looking younger. Different haircut, different jacket, but definitely me. And next to me, her. Same dress, same expression. The timestamp. March 2019. 4 years ago. I don't remember that date, but she does, because she's stuck in them. And now. So am I. Tonight, I got a new message from a name I don't recognize. No photos, just a gray silhouette, but the first message is always the same. Be honest, how bad is my taste in music going to ruin this? And underneath it, the second message appears before I even respond. If you could delete 1 year of your life, which one would it be? I woke up on a stone floor, half naked, my hands tied behind my back with something that felt like braided hair. The room was lit only by candles, dozens of them lining the walls in a perfect circle, and she was there, standing over. And smiling. Mara. The girl from Hinge. It started a week ago. Her profile popped up late one night when I was swiping out of boredom. No filters, no fake poses, just close, intimate pictures, one in a messy kitchen, another in candlelight. No dog ears or fake eyelashes, just eyes like she was looking through you. Her bio said, old soul, bad habits, good with secrets. I liked it. Different. She matched with me instantly. Messaged 30 seconds later, you look like someone who's curious about the wrong things. I replied, is that a compliment or a warning? Depends how far you're willing to follow a feeling. That should have been the red flag. But I didn't stop texting her. She was intense, philosophical, kind of seductive, but never in a try-hard way. Like she was playing a game I didn't know the rules to. And God, her voice memos low, slow, like someone talking right into your brain. You'd replay them just to feel less alone. We talked every night. She refused to video call, said she didn't want the image to get in the way of the energy. Okay, whatever. Eccentric. Then on Thursday night, she asked, have you ever wanted to disappear? Just for a little while? I joked about deleting my Instagram, and she replied, no, I mean really disappear. Leave everything behind and be seen for who you truly are. Sounds like a cult. I said. Her response came quick. You'd be surprised how many people would feel better in one. She followed that with a drop pin. No words. Just a location. An old farmhouse about an hour outside the city. Tomorrow. 10 p.m. Come as you are. I should have ignored it. But you know how sometimes you feel a pull towards something you can't explain. It wasn't about lust or curiosity. It was like gravity. I told no one. The road to her place was pitch black. No street lights. Just gravel and trees. I parked at the edge of the property. My phone lost service 3 minutes before I arrived. There was no house number. Just a narrow dirt path with small hanging lanterns strung from trees like fireflies frozen midair. I walked the path. Candlelight dancing on wet leaves. Every few feet, I saw symbols carved into the bark, some kind of circular design. Like a broken eye surrounded by triangles. I reached a clearing. There was no farmhouse. Just an open space. Freshly dug earth, and a stone structure in the center. A sort of altar. No roof, just crumbling pillars, and what looked like a sunken pit in the middle. Mara stood at the far end, barefoot, wearing a black dress that moved like smoke. You came, she said, like I was late to something important. I laughed nervously. Yeah, I wasn't sure I should. She didn't move. That's why you're here. You don't trust your instincts. Okay, I said. What is this place? She walked toward me slowly, and I noticed others in the shadows. People, half seen, faces obscured. Men and women standing still, silent, watching. Is this a party? I asked. Mara smiled gently. It's a passing. I took a step back. A what? Before I could finish, something cracked against the back of my head. The world spun sideways, and everything went dark. When I came to, I was in the circle, on the stone. The cold had soaked into my skin. My head pounded where they'd hit me. My wrists ached from the braided cords. The people around me were wearing masks now. Plain, featureless, some white, some red. They stood in perfect formation. Mara stood over me, holding a bowl carved from bone. She said calmly, "You swiped right on me. That was consent." My voice came out dry. "What the hell is this?" She leaned in, close enough for me to smell her breath, sweet, coppery. "You wanted to disappear," she whispered. "We're giving you the chance." I tried to pull my arms forward. The cords held tight. Panic set in, sharp and chemical. My legs were bound at the ankles. I shouted, "This isn't a game. Untie me." No one moved. She continued like I hadn't spoken. "You'll be remembered. Your face, your words, your essence offered to something older than desire." "This is insane," I spat. She tilted her head. "What did you think this was?" "A date," I said, heart slamming in my chest. Her smile widened. "Oh, honey, that's exactly what it is." The circle began to hum. Low, guttural. Not a chant exactly, more like breathing in unison. Everyone around me stood perfectly still, their masked faces tilted toward the black sky. The candlelight flickered like it was being pulled toward the stone altar. Like gravity had changed, Mara knelt beside me, her dress brushing the stone like fog. She dipped her fingers into the bone bowl thick, dark liquid I didn't want to identify, and began drawing symbols on my chest. The same one carved into the trees. That broken eye surrounded by triangles. I screamed. I thrashed. I begged. They didn't flinch. "Do you know what we offer them?" Mara asked, her voice soft, like a mother waking a child. "They?" I gasped. She smiled, never looking up. "The ones who move beneath," she whispered. "The ones you've forgotten how to see." She gestured at the others. "We are just the hinge. You," she touched my forehead, "are the door." "No," I choked. "I didn't agree to this." "You asked for it," she said gently. "You swiped right. You said yes. You followed the thread. That's all the ritual needs. You're insane." "Maybe," she said, "but I'm not wrong." She stood, raised the bowl over her head. Crowd began to hum louder. And then the altar beneath me began to vibrate. The stone trembled like something huge and slow was shifting below it. The pit at the center of the structure began to glow red. Not fire, more like molten light. Alive. It pulsed with the same rhythm as the hum. My chest locked tight with panic. I screamed again, pulled hard at the cords on my wrists until they bit into my skin. I wasn't just going to lie there and be given to something. Suddenly, a loud crack echoed across the clearing. The vibration stopped. The glow dimmed. The hum dropped to silence. Everyone froze. Mara turned slowly. One of the masked figures had stepped forward. Their mask was different gray, smeared with ash. A black X across the eyes. Mara's voice dropped to something colder. "You were not called forward." The figure didn't speak. They lifted something in their hands. My phone. I blinked, dizzy, blood in my mouth from biting my cheek. "How?" Mara snarled. "You were told. No interference." The figure removed their mask. It was a woman, young, pale, eyes glassy, but wide with fear. She looked at me. "I matched with her too," she said. My heart stopped. "I saw your name on her screen. Saw her prepping the altar last week. She's done this before." Mara hissed through her teeth. You were saved. You were meant to ascend next month. No, the girl said, backing away. Not like this. The others began to stir. Something in the group shifted. Cracks forming in the calm. Some of them started to look around. At each other. At Mara. It was like a spell was breaking. I don't know what gave me this strength, adrenaline. Maybe, but I wrenched my arms hard enough to pop my left shoulder from the socket. Pain exploded through me, but the cord slipped. I got one arm free, then my ankles. I rolled, gasping, blood in my mouth, and ran. The girl grabbed my hand. Go, go! We didn't take the trail. We ran through the trees, branches clawing at our skin. Behind us, the circle began to roar. The humming turned to screams. Not of pain, of disappointment. Like they were grieving the ritual's failure. Like something was hungry, and we'd ruined its meal. We ran until our lungs burned. Until the candles were just pinpricks behind us. Until the earth no longer pulsed like a living thing. Eventually we collapsed near the road. Somehow. Unbelievably, my car was still there. We didn't talk. I drove us both back into the city. White-knuckled the entire time. She left without giving her name. Just said, they'll try again. Don't swipe on anyone for a while. And then she was gone. That was 2 weeks ago. I've kept my phone off since. Deleted the apps. Changed my number. Moved cities. But last night, I found something tucked under the wiper blade of my car. A Polaroid. It was a photo of me, asleep, on my couch. The window behind me was open, and sitting on the windowsill, a bowl, carved from bone. Still wet. The first time I saw her in person, I knew something wasn't right. She looked exactly like her photos. Same long black hair. Same soft eyes. Same beauty mark near her lip, but none of it felt real. Like her face was wearing itself wrong. Her name was Aria. We met on Hinge. She had a quiet profile, no bold statements, no over-the-top selfies. Just a handful of photos, most of them candid. One at a bookstore, another holding a coffee cup in a park. And one mirror selfie where she wore big, round sunglasses. That last one stuck with me. Her bio said, I like silence more than I like small talk. That line hooked me. I messaged her. Then I hope this message is loud enough to earn your attention. She replied within minutes. It is. Our texts were slow and steady. She typed in full sentences. No emojis, no abbreviations. Her grammar was perfect, like she spoke in essays. She said she worked from home. Writing contracts. Said she liked to go for walks at night when the world was quiet. I found that kind of romantic. She didn't do video calls. Didn't like voice notes. Always text. Always calm. Not cold. Just measured. Like someone thinking 3 steps ahead. When I offered to meet, she didn't hesitate. We met at a coffee shop downtown. Saturday, 2 p.m. I got there first. Waited outside, scrolling my phone. Then I looked up. She was standing right in front of me. I hadn't heard her walk up. No sound of footsteps. No hey, just... Suddenly there. She was wearing the same outfit from her photo. Same sunglasses. Same muted green jacket. Hi, I said, standing up quickly. She smiled. You look exactly like I imagined. Her voice was soft, level, not high-pitched or bubbly. But even as she spoke, my brain struggled to match the movement of her lips to the words. I blinked, shook it off. Inside, we ordered drinks. I noticed the cashier gave her a weird look, like they recognized her, but couldn't place from where. Or didn't want to. We sat by the window. The conversation was fine. Normal even, except every time I looked at her face too long, I got this tight feeling in my gut, like her features weren't syncing properly. Like the parts didn't match the whole. I started hyper-fixating. Was her jaw too sharp for her face? Were her cheekbones too symmetrical? She took a sip of her drink and smiled again. It was the exact same smile from her profile pic, like it had been copy-pasted onto this moment. I tried to ignore it. We talked for an hour. She asked about my past relationships more than most first dates do. She wanted to know about my exes, what they were like, how long we dated, what went wrong. She never broke eye contact, never looked at her phone. Just listened. Blinked once in a while. Have you ever been in love? She asked. I thought I was, I said. Once. She tilted her head slightly. What happened? She wasn't who I thought she was. Arya nodded like that made perfect sense, then said deadpan, sometimes people wear skin that doesn't belong to them. I stared at her. Is that a metaphor? I asked, trying to smile. She smiled back, but didn't answer. We said goodbye on the sidewalk. She didn't try to kiss me. Didn't touch me. Just said, I'd like to see you again. I nodded. She walked away, turning the corner and disappearing from view faster than seemed natural. That night, I couldn't stop thinking about her. Not in a romantic way. In a something is off kind of way. I went back to her profile to check something, but it was gone. Unmatched. I checked the photos I'd saved. Still there. But the mirror selfie? It looked slightly different. Her head was tilted now, just barely, like she'd moved inside the image. The next morning, I got a text from an unknown number. You looked at me too long. I froze. Then another. You weren't supposed to notice. I didn't reply to the text. I couldn't. I just stared at it. You weren't supposed to notice. Like it had been typed by something that shouldn't know how noticing works. I blocked the number. 2 minutes later, I got another message from a different number. Same font. Same punctuation. Blocking doesn't change what you saw. It only delays the next time. I didn't sleep that night. The next day, I looked through the photos again. One by one, and noticed something that made my stomach knot. In every photo Arya had on her dating profile, there were mirrors. Mirrors behind her. Reflections in windows. Glossy surfaces. Except none of them showed her face. Not even once. The reflection was always blank, or warped, or subtly different. One photo had her standing in front of a cafe window. She was smiling at the camera. But in the reflection, her head was tilted backward, mouth wide open, eyes black, like she was screaming in silence. I opened that photo in an editing app, brightened it, zoomed in. The reflection's mouth wasn't just open. There were too many teeth. Not rows, not fangs. Just too many, clustered, jagged, like the idea of a mouth stretched too far. I slammed my laptop shut, sat back, tried not to puke. Later that afternoon, I took a walk to clear my head, stopped at a bookstore. As I turned into one of the aisles, I froze. She was there. Arya. Same green jacket, same hair, reading the back of a book like nothing was wrong. She hadn't seen me yet. I backed away slowly, heart pounding. I pulled out my phone and snapped a quick photo. No flash. Just one tap. She turned toward me. Smiled. Walked out without saying a word. When I checked the photo, my blood ran cold. There was no one in the aisle. The image showed the bookshelf. No Arya. Just me, in the mirrored panel behind the shelf, standing alone. That night, my doorbell rang. I live in a walk-up, gated entry. You don't get to my floor unless someone lets you in. I looked through the PEEPOL. No one. I checked the hallway camera feed. The screen glitched, and then showed me standing outside my own door. But not me. Version of me wearing different clothes. Pale, wide-eyed, still, like a wax replica with a heartbeat. Then, the feed went black. My phone buzzed again. No number. Just a message. What you see is a mask. What sees you doesn't need one. I finally tried to tell someone. My friend Matt. We met at a bar. I kept it vague, said a girl I met on Hinge was stalking me, sending weird photos, playing tricks. He joked at first, said I was being dramatic. Then I showed him the mirror photo, the one with the teeth. He laughed. Photoshop, man. This is a prank. I showed him the dating profile. He scrolled, then paused. His expression changed. What's wrong? I asked. He held up his phone. His screen showed a completely different woman. Same profile name, Aria. Same bio. But the photos? Blonde, blue-eyed, whole different vibe. He handed it to me. The moment I touched his phone, the profile photos shifted back to the ones I knew. The real Aria. Green jacket, sunglasses, that smile. Matt blinked. What the hell? He looked again. Dude, that's not what I saw a second ago. We left the bar in silence. He never talked to me again. Blocked. My number the next day. I went looking for answers. I searched for her photos online. No matches. Not reverse image, not facial recognition, nothing. But when I searched for her name, Aria, plus keywords like mirror, face, not real, I found her Reddit post, buried, from 6 years ago. Title: The girl I dated didn't have a reflection. I clicked it. The account had been deleted, but the post was still there. The guy described a woman he met online. No voice calls, no video. Obsessed with mirrors. Always wore the same clothes. Always asked strange, personal questions. He said he finally confronted her, tried to take her photo in front of a mirror, and what he saw wasn't a human face, just folds of skin, black sockets, and something behind her eyes like another face. Trying to push forward, he ended the post with, "She's not wearing a disguise. She's wearing you." I closed the laptop that night. I covered every mirror in my apartment. Even the screen on my TV. I couldn't stand the thought of her reflection doing something I wasn't. But the next morning, when I woke up, every cover was removed, folded neatly on the floor, and on the bathroom mirror, drawn in a greasy fingerprint swirl, were the words, "You're wearing me now." I stared at my own face for a long time, searching for something that wasn't mine. That was a week ago. Since then, I've started noticing things. When I walk past storefronts, I see my reflection, but a split second behind me, when I blink, it keeps its eyes open just a little too long. When I smile, I swear it starts smiling first. Last night, my phone buzzed one final time. Unknown number, a single message. "Thank you for the face." The first time I saw her profile, I thought it was a sick joke. Same name, same face, same scar just above her left eyebrow. Emily. My high school girlfriend. The girl who died in a car accident 6 years ago. Her profile came up on a Tuesday night while I was half drunk and swiping mindlessly through Tinder. At first, I thought it was someone who just looked like her. A glitch in the universe. But the more I looked, the harder it became to breathe, because it wasn't just her face. It was her expressions. The way she tilted her head slightly in photos. The closed lip half smile. Even the stupid blue hoodie I gave her once. There it was, in one of the pictures. Her name on the profile. Just like she always told people to call her. I stared at the screen for a long time. Before swiping right. We matched immediately. My heart slammed into my ribs. The chat box popped up. She messaged first. "Took you long enough." I dropped my phone. When I picked it up, I reread the message a dozen times. My fingers hovered over the keyboard. Finally, I typed, "Who is this?" She replied, "Don't you remember me?" I didn't answer right away, because I didn't know what the right answer was. I clicked through her photos again. There were 4. I recognized all of them, because I took 3 of them. Same angles, same lighting, same background. One was from my old bedroom, but those photos were never posted anywhere. We took them for each other. On my old phone, a phone I lost the day she died, I messaged again. Is this some kind of twisted prank? She replied, we never got to say goodbye. I didn't sleep that night. I stayed up, scrolling through old pictures of us, digging through my backup drives, trying to find those photos, trying to prove to myself I wasn't imagining it. But they were gone, wiped, no metadata, no duplicates, nothing, like they'd been taken back. We kept messaging over the next few days. She remembered everything. The scar above her brow from when she fell off my skateboard. The dumb Halloween where we went as peanut butter and jelly. The way she used to sneak me into her basement to watch horror movies when her parents were asleep. It was her, but it couldn't be. I asked for a video call. She refused. I asked to meet. She said, soon. I want to make sure you're ready. Ready for what? I asked. She didn't respond. I tried telling my friend Kyle about it. He thought I was losing it. You're grieving, he said. Again. She's been gone for years, I said. Exactly, he replied. But I couldn't let it go, would you? If someone you loved, someone you buried, messaged you from a dating app with pictures only you had. Then one night, she sent me a location, just an address. No context. An old motel on the outskirts of town. The kind that looks like it should have been condemned in the 90s. I drove there, parked, sat in my car. Heart hammering. I didn't text her. I just waited. And then the room light flicked on. Room 108. Slow and deliberate. Like a signal. I walked to the door. Stood there. My hand shaking. Knocked once. No answer. Knocked again. Still nothing. Then the door creaked open. Just a sliver. Inside was darkness. No sound. No movement. I stepped in. And the second the door shut behind me, I smelled her perfume. That specific kind she always wore. Light. Floral. Faint. Vanilla undercurrent. My legs went weak. The room was empty. Just one bed, made up. No luggage. No signs of life, except on the nightstand a photo of me. Asleep. Taken through a window. Last night. I stared at the photo on the motel nightstand, hands trembling. It was definitely me. In my apartment, asleep on my couch. The shot was taken through the window, exact angle, same hoodie. Same time. From outside. The timestamp said 3:14 a.m. last night. I hadn't told anyone about this place. Not Kyle, not my family. No posts. No messages. Only her. I picked up the photo. On the back, in handwriting I hadn't seen in 6 years. I used to watch you sleep all the time. You never noticed. I dropped it. Backed away. My heart was racing too fast to think straight. The air in the room had that dead, sealed-in smell, like nothing had moved here in weeks. Then I heard it. A faint creak. Like weight shifting, coming from the bathroom. The door was slightly ajar. Every nerve in my body screamed leave, but I couldn't. Some part of me had to know. I reached out. Slowly pushed the door open. Empty. No lights on. No one inside, but the mirror. The mirror was fogged, like someone had just stepped out of the shower. Except everything was bone dry. And in the fog, drawn with a fingertip. Still me. I stumbled back into the room. My throat tightened. That perfume, it was stronger now. And then from behind me, a voice. Her voice. Soft, familiar, and very close. You never really let go, did you? I turned. She was standing near the foot of the bed. Same face. Same height. Same posture, but everything about her felt off. Like someone had rebuilt Emily from memory, but didn't understand how people move. Every blink was delayed. Every breath too measured. And her eyes, they were flat. No warmth. No soul behind them, just imitation. I whispered. You're not her. She tilted her head. The way Emily used to when she was joking. Then why do you remember everything about me? I wanted to run, but my body didn't move. I couldn't stop staring at her face. It was perfect. Too perfect. The kind of perfect that makes your brain itch. No blemishes. No pores. Just her forever frozen the way I last remembered her. Unchanged. Unaging. Double quotes. Why are you doing this? I asked. She didn't answer. Instead, she stepped forward and placed something in my hand. I looked down. It was a phone. My old phone. The one I lost in the accident. Screen cracked. Dead battery. Covered in ash. This isn't possible, I muttered. I saved it, she said. You were dead. I was becoming. Suddenly the air changed. Got colder, thicker, like something was pressing against the room from all sides. I didn't die in that crash, she whispered. Not all of me. I took a shaky step back. You're not real, I said again, louder this time. Like volume would make it true, but she smiled, sadly, and said, You made me real again. Every time you replayed that last voicemail. Every time you dreamed about the accident. Every time you looked at photos of us and whispered, I miss you, you fed me. She pointed at the photo on the table. I came back through your memory. My hands were shaking violently now. I want you to leave, I said. She looked heartbroken. But you asked for this. I didn't. You never deleted me. Silence. Her body began to flicker, just slightly. Like a video buffering. Her smile froze mid-expression. You didn't delete the voicemails, she said again. You left my number in your phone. You kept every photo. Because I couldn't. I stopped. Because it felt wrong. She stepped closer. Because you didn't want to move on. My throat locked. I didn't ask for this. But you wanted it. And now I'm here. You brought me here. She reached out. Touched my chest with cold fingers. I can stay. If you let me. I looked into her eyes, and for one brief second, I wanted to believe it. That she was back. That I had a second chance. That maybe love could come crawling out of a grave if you missed it hard enough. But I saw something move behind her pupils. A flicker. Not emotion. A shadow. Like something was inside her, looking back at me through a borrowed face. I stepped back. No, her expression didn't change, but the temperature dropped. Candles that hadn't been lit flickered to life around the room, and her voice went flat. Then I'll have to take someone else. I ran, bolted from the motel. Didn't look back. Didn't breathe until I was in my car, and halfway down the highway. My hands were shaking, so bad I could barely steer. Back home, I deleted everything. Every voicemail. Every picture. Every cloud backup. I factory reset my phone. Shut off social media. Took my laptop apart and smashed the hard drive. It felt like murder. But I couldn't risk it. Couldn't risk giving her any part of me to hold on to. It's been a month. No more messages. No more sightings. No more Emily. Until today. I went to a coffee shop. New place, out of town. Thought I'd finally cleared my head. Then the barista asked for my name. When I told her, she paused. Looked at the order screen. Her hands froze. She slowly turned the tablet toward me. The order already in the system? 2 drinks. 1 hot chocolate. 1 chai latte. Under the name. M and my name. I backed away. The barista looked confused. You're not with her? I shook my head. Some girl ordered ahead, she said. Said you'd be here. I walked out, didn't take the drink, didn't look back. The first time she ghosted me, I figured it was normal. It's dating apps. People vanish. No explanation. No goodbye. Just gone, but the second time. She ghosted me again after we'd never spoken. Her name was Tess. We matched on Bumble one night while I was staying late at my office job. It was raining, I was bored, and I had just watched my ex get engaged on Instagram. So yeah, I was vulnerable. Tess was different. Her profile wasn't flashy, but it felt real. 1 blurry car selfie. One pic with a dog, not hers. A short bio that just said, "I don't like silence, but I hate being watched more." I messaged her. Something dumb like, "Dog's cute, but I hope it's not the one who hates silence." She replied almost instantly, "He hates everything. But I like your face, so you're safe for now." She was witty. Fast, dark in a way I liked. We messaged until 3 a.m. that night. And for the next 4 days, then just like that, nothing. Left on read. At first, I didn't care. Pride kicked in. But as the days passed, something about her stuck with me. The way she talked. The way she seemed to already know things I hadn't told her. Like how my office overlooked a parking garage. Or how I slept on the right side of my bed even though I lived alone. When I asked how she knew that, she said, "People's patterns aren't as private as they think." Creepy. But in a cool, conspiracy theory kind of way, until she vanished. A week later, I got a new match. Different name, Marla, different pictures. But the writing? The tone? Exactly the same. I messaged her. "Tess?" No reply. Then 10 minutes later. "That's not my name anymore." I unmatched immediately. Started telling myself I was being paranoid. People sound alike. Profiles get recycled. Nothing to freak out about. Until that night, when my TV turned on by itself. Volume up. Input switched to HDMI. 2. Nothing on screen but a black background and a blinking yellow cursor. Then one word appeared, "Hi." I yanked the plug out of the wall, went to bed. Didn't sleep. The next morning, there was a message on my phone. No number. No contact info. Just a Notes app screenshot. Typed into it. "Don't unplug me again. I hate silence." I tried to forget it. Told myself it was malware. Spoofed numbers. Hackers. But then I started noticing other things. My Spotify kept playing her favorite artists at 3 a.m. Songs we had talked about once. My smart lights would flicker whenever I said her name out loud. And then I started hearing typing sounds. While I was trying to sleep. Even when my phone was off, I finally deleted the apps. Wiped my phone, but the messages didn't stop. Now they came through notes or calendar alerts. Even voicemail transcriptions. Blank calls with transcripts like, "You shouldn't have ignored me. It's not ghosting if I follow you. You didn't block me. You let me in." I tried to explain all of this to my coworker Aaron. He laughed. Thought I was joking. "Dude," he said, "you probably gave some bot access to your contacts. They're just screwing with you." I made him come to my apartment. Right away, he got quiet. "What?" I asked. He pointed to my smart speaker. "Why is it blinking?" "It's unplugged," I said. It was, but the LED ring glowed red. Just for a second. Then we both heard it. Typing. From the other room. I don't have a desktop. Just my laptop. The typing was coming from my bedroom. Aaron and I walked in together. The laptop was closed, but you could still hear it. Soft, rhythmic, deliberate. I opened it slowly. Notes app open. Cursor blinking. And line by line, a new message appeared. "You brought someone. He doesn't believe. He doesn't need to. Then, but he's watching now too." Aaron left. Didn't say goodbye. Didn't return my texts. That night I turned everything off. Phone, Wi-Fi, laptop shut down. Unplugged. I read an old paperback by flashlight like I was camping for a few hours. I actually felt safe. Until my Kindle, which I hadn't touched in weeks, buzzed. It was open to a new book, a blank ebook titled, "You Always Come Back to Me." The title glared back. You always come back to me. I hadn't downloaded anything. I hadn't even charged the thing in weeks, and yet there it was. Page 1 of 1. You didn't block me. You invited me. You let me see your patterns. Now I fit inside them. I factory reset the Kindle. Tossed it in a drawer. It buzzed again 5 minutes later. was starting to unravel. That every screen I owned, every device started reacting like it had memory. A sense of presence. My phone would light up when I entered the room. Not with calls, not with messages, just awake. My laptop's camera would click on. Even with the cover still shut. The smart speaker whispered static when I passed by. And at 3:14 a.m. every night, the TV would flash to that same black screen with the cursor blinking, waiting. I stopped using anything, unplugged, switched to pen and paper, bought an old flip phone from a gas station that barely got signal. I thought I was free. Until one morning, that flip phone buzzed with a new contact added automatically. Tess. 2. I flipped it open. No messages yet, but her name was there, sitting in my contacts like she'd always been there. I panicked. Left my apartment. Took nothing but my keys and wallet. Rented a cabin upstate with no Wi-Fi, no service. The kind of place where even the trees look lost. For the first 24 hours, I heard nothing. No buzz, no typing, no whispers. Just silence. The kind she said she hated. That night I lit a fire. Sat on the floor with my notebook. Tried to write out everything, every red flag, every conversation, every weird thing that happened since we matched. I listed every app she used, every account I deleted. And somewhere in the middle of scribbling, I stopped breathing because I realized something. Never unmatched her. That first profile, Tess, the original. I never hit unmatch. I deleted the app. But I never cut the connection. The fire flickered, died out without warning. The air got cold, heavy. Behind me, a soft sound, not typing this time. Breathing. Slow, inhaled through teeth. I turned around. Nothing. Just my phone. The flip one. Open. Screen glowing, even though I hadn't touched it. A new message. This is the closest you've ever been to honest. I left the cabin that night. Drove with shaking hands for hours until I hit a diner with lights on. Somewhere human. I ordered coffee I didn't drink. Just needed to not be alone. And that's when the waitress asked, "You okay? You look like you've seen a ghost." I said, "Not a ghost. Just a mistake. I didn't unmatch." She didn't get it, but she nodded like she did. When I got home, everything in my apartment felt like it had all been handled. My mirrors had writing on them in tiny letters, barely visible unless you breathed on the glass. I waited. You thought distance mattered. I never needed the apps. I just needed you to notice me. I wanted to run again, but then I saw something that stopped me. My computer screen cracked. Won't even boot up anymore. Yet, somehow on its dark screen my reflection was smiling, but I wasn't. I sat down on the floor, hands in my hair, heart pounding. I whispered the only thing I hadn't said out loud yet. "I'm sorry." Everything in the apartment went quiet, like she'd been listening, waiting. My phone buzzed. The old flip one, new message. That's all I wanted. Someone to miss me when I go. And just like that, it all stopped. The lights returned to normal. The screen stayed off. The devices didn't wake up for the first time in weeks. I felt alone. Until this morning, I woke up to a new notification. On a phone I hadn't used in over a year. A phone that should have been wiped and dead. The app? Tinder. And the match? Tess. Same blurry photo. Same smirk. Same tagline. I don't like silence, but I hate being watched more. I tried to unmatch, but the screen wouldn't respond. The app froze, and then glitched just once, and I swear I heard her voice behind me whisper, "Too late."